家好，这里是新加坡慈善文化论坛，庆祝新加坡建国60周年系列专访。今天我们特别邀请到了印度裔的作家阿里先生。您好，阿里先生。
I'm well, thank you. Thank you very much.
他是一位非常著名的作家，而且是一位多产的作家，他有很多的作品都是关于多元种族的。
Singapore is a very special place. As a creator, whether you're a painter or a writer or even a poet, you can't escape the multicultural environment of Singapore. So when you greeted me, I understood. Because I have been living among my Chinese friends and neighbors all my life here, right? So similarly, if you ask me to wear the creator's hat, the content creator's hat, then I will tell you, Singapore is one country that really lends itself to that sort of a cross-cultural treatment of in any format. Be it, like what I said, it could be a written form or it could be a drawing or painting or anything. So you'll have a Chinese artist who goes to Little India and paint cultural elements of Little India. Or you'll have a Malay writer who writes about the life of a Chinese Samsi women. We live in this environment. So we don't make an effort, so to speak, to bring those elements into our expressions. It is something that happens organically. I will not say that there aren't challenges. A language is both an open door and a closed door at the same time. What do I mean? You see, if you know a language, you don't only learn how to speak in the language, you learn about the cultural elements, the sensibilities of that ethnic group, of people of that linguistic grouping. You become familiar who they are, what their concerns are, what are their roots, and so on. Now, I also said that language can be a closed door. You see, if you have various languages in the same environment and you're creating content in one, then the chances are you are creating content for that community. In that way, the creator somehow is limited, depending on by his audience. Like I write for the Tamil community of Singapore, primarily talking to them about the concerns of the community. But there is an overlap, there are national concerns and then there are ethnic concerns. So there's a big overlap there. However, this linguistic difference does become challenging sometimes.
刚才听到这个阿里先生谈到他对多元种族的语言文学、艺术都有着深刻的思考。
I have been in television for the past, from the time I was a little boy, almost 40 years. So I've written so much of content for TV. I can think about a few. I want to talk about one particular series. It is called Sometimes. It's a series of short films. It's an anthology of short films. There's one particular story. Now we're talking about culture, language, and identity. Let me share the story with you. So I have this girl, a Tamil girl, who is very traditional in the way she dresses. She goes to work in a sari or a salwar. These are all traditional Indian attires. She goes to work in a multinational company, and a young American boy or a young man is posted to the same company. So when he sees her, to him, she is the embodiment of everything that he feels he has lost as an American. You see, the American culture, as you know, is a melting pot experience. In Singapore, we have preserved our own cultures. So when he looked at it, wow, this is so interesting, This girl, educated, smart, works in an MNC, but she holds on to her culture. It's like a Japanese woman who wears a kimono to work. So he's very impressed with her and falls in love with her. And he's a nice, handsome young man. So this girl likes him too. Now, what happens is, as the days move on, the girl, she thinks, she said, look, I'm so traditional, I'm wearing all this. I don't know whether he will like it. And And she started changing herself and becoming more American than American. Suddenly the sari goes, the salwar goes, and she's into jeans, t-shirt, and that sort of Western clothing. And he looks at her, and he said, "What happened? Why has she gone into this? Was I wrong in thinking that she was actually an embodiment of a culture?" So that becomes difficult between them, and the story ends that he goes back to America. It's a sadly funny story, or funnily sad story, right? Either way. So if you ask me, this is one. But in that series, I have explored a lot of things. It's about a little boy who has established a friendship with a seed. A seed from a frog. Why? Because he's squint eye. He's his cross eye. So his classmates tease him. So he becomes a loner, and he finds the seed, and he kicks the seed, and he'll imagine himself to be Marco Polo. And he will, wherever the seed went, he went, and he used to talk to the seed, and a friendship is built between the seed and him. So one day, there's a sports day. I don't know whether you have it in China, but in Singapore, we used to have this sack race. I think you all will remember how we go into a sack jump. So a sack race, guy with the cross eye, he wins, and his classmate loses. So he becomes angry, and one day when he sees the seed, at the time when this boy is not noticing, he steals the seed, because he knows that seed is very important to him. And the boy becomes so lonely, so troubled, so sad. He goes around the whole school field, he looks for the seed, he can't find it. And when this boy looks at him suffering, something happens to him. He felt sorry for him. So he goes back to return the seed to him. And this boy becomes very angry. "You stole my friend." And they start fighting. And in the fight, the seed rolls and falls into a drain. It's a rainy day, so the water is flowing fast. It's going. It's rolling, and finally it goes into a very big river. Both of them can't save the seed. But in the end, both of them become good friends. These sort of stories will, tells the story of a people, of the land, of the environment. Although we talk about globalization, I think every community has its own unique characteristic and features that offers to the world.
我们也了解到，阿里先生呢，为了庆祝新加坡建国60周年呢，也奉献了一部作品。我们想请阿里先生谈一谈。
This is the 60th anniversary for us, 1965 to 2025. Very important year, a lot of celebrations all around. For my part, I'm involved in two projects. One, which I've not started filming yet. It's due in September. We're doing preliminary work now. It's about Tamils on this island. That means the language, the schools, second language policy, Tamil being an official language, organization that helps to promote the language. Here altogether about 10 topics that we're going to explore. So that is a chronicle that I'm producing for SG60, and that's for MediaCorp. Another project I've already finished filming. It is also for MediaCorp. It's a 36-part drama. And that drama, it can be a mouthful in Tamil. It's called Sanda Marudam. It means Sanda Marudam, which actually means the strong winds, like monsoons. You see, the story of Singapore doesn't begin in Singapore. It begins in India, it begins in China, it begins in Malaya, it even begins in Europe.
Yeah.
Yes? So I try to tell that story. It's the 36 episodes. Hopefully you'll get to watch it.
所以呢，我们也想请阿里先生谈一下，他是如何通过创作来促进多元种族之间的沟通融合。谢谢。
Yeah. See, what we are is defined by where we are. Let me explain. In some way, in Europe, right? If I and you were to have a cup of coffee, they'll say, "Oh, these Asians." Yes. Then you come to Singapore, or you go to Malaysia, and then even Malaysia, our neighbor, if both of us have got the same registered car plates and we are Singaporeans. They don't talk in terms of Chinese or Indian, we are Singaporeans, right? Then you come here, you come to Singapore, then you're a Chinese and I'm an Indian. So identity is defined by where you are at a given point in time, right? So if you were to ask me for similarities between our culture, of course, I read Chinese philosophy in the varsity, and I see so much of commonality in the values, like Chuangzi, his poem, and also Thiruvalluvar, who is one of the most respected philosopher, poet, and the concerns about society, about ethics, about existence, about parents, about filial piety are so common. I'm not saying that Western culture doesn't have this, but I'm just talking about the commonalities between the Indian Chinese and the Malay culture as well. In fact, I will venture to say that most of these values are universal. I think that's what makes us human beings. Sometimes we forget. If I am very, very caught on to the idea that Mr. Lim is a Chinese, what am I doing? I'm underlining everything in red. He's Chinese, I am Indian, and how can a country like Singapore function if we think like that? You live in this environment, you partake of each other's culture, the best of each community, that community or the ethnic group has to offer. I was a very young boy when there was a Malaysian Cup. Mr. Lim will know this better than me. Oh, no Lim, no Ali. Singapore. We go national service. All races, all languages, all get scolded together, all get punished together, all become stronger together, we bond together, we hang out together. So in a place like Singapore, if you are too caught on to your own identity, it doesn't help. You must have a strong values, like what I said, it's not a melting pot. However, it is something that enjoys the diversity and finds commonality in the diversity. That is us.
阿里先生呢，因为他有丰富的创作和生活的体验，那么我们也想听听他讲讲。
Let me come back to my country, Singapore. We are celebrating 60 years. What is 60 years? Even for societies that are homogeneous, like say the Japanese society, thousands of years of history. Chinese, thousands of years of history. India, thousands of years of history. 60 years, we are a very, very young nation. Added to that is also the fact that we are not a homogeneous society. All of us look different. Your neighbor looks different from you, and all of us, we have our own peculiarities. Of course, we have issues. I don't like the way your food smells. You may not like the way my perfume smells. Chinese New Year, I'm hanging out all black clothes. You don't want to see. So there are a lot of little things that we can get annoyed with each other. We may not share the same kind of sentiments or outlook. But I will say this, because we learn to live, we give and take. I will say the interesting thing about Singapore is, see, a flower, it's a beauty to admire, right? But the process of the flower blooming is also a beauty. Right from the fact that you planted a seed, a plant grew, and then small little shoots showed up, and then you'll see leaves coming, and then you'll see little buds, and from there you see this flower. This whole process is a beautiful one, and I think making a nation is like a blooming of a flower. And I think for us, we enjoy the process of becoming a nation. I say becoming a nation because it is always work in progress. This country has given me a lot of opportunities, which I've been very, very fortunate to receive. I did not pay for my education at all. The government looked after that. Then of course, you feel very indebted because you're very fortunate. Not everyone gets to go to school for free, right?
Yes.
So, in the professionally speaking, I have received many industry awards. So some of the things that I do, I write, I direct. I'm also a host. One of my programs is called In Conversation. This is in Tamil, In Conversation. I got to meet some of the most amazing people around the world from the Tamil community. For example, the guy who invented the email, Shiva Yadur, I met him in New York. I met one of the youngest mayors of Oslo, Norway, Sri Lankan migrant, one generation before, but today she is the deputy mayor of Oslo. So I interviewed many people, like one of the key ministers of Nelson Mandela, who was with Nelson Mandela on the day that he came out of prison. So it's all opportunities, my work has given me that I must thank MediaCorp because I produced this program for them. So I can go on. But I think the biggest award that I have today is the fact that I'm still here to tell my story. So I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
感谢阿里先生今天接受访问。今天跟我们一起访问到呢，还有文艺协会的副会长林南记先生和秘书长严文珍老师。
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
在新加坡，每一条街道，每一道菜香，都是一种文化的回响。在这个多元族群共居的小岛上，不同信仰、语言与生活方式，不是冲突的火种，而是和谐的拼图。访问中，文艺协会秘书长严文珍老师提问：不同种族是否应该参与彼此的节日，从而加深理解？这是一个简单却深刻的问题。阿里先生说他是淡米尔裔穆斯林，既属于语言的传统，也活在信仰的节律中。他记得斋戒月期间，礼拜的清真寺坐落在狭窄的街巷里，车辆拥挤，邻居却默默体谅，因为他们知道这是彼此生活的一部分。当农历新年的锣鼓响起，当印度庙会的歌声飘过小印度，当马来糕点悄然出现在华人邻居门前，新加坡人知道这些声音与味道并不是别人的，他们都是我们共同的日常。他说的真切，如果我们总是抱怨吵闹与不便，最后只会变成一个孤独的人。真正的文化融合不是消除差异，而是欣赏差异，学会在多样中找到彼此的美。就像邻里间的分享，有人送来节日糕点，有人端出家乡味道，有人点灯，有人贴春联，形式不同，心意相通。这就是新加坡。